Okay, dear friends, dear participants here on the site and online as well, we are welcoming you for our first workshop, which will be dedicated for developing ICI 5 houses. Okay, so sit back, enjoy, and let's listen to what our teachers prepared for us. Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Well, that was sort of uninspiring.
Hello.
I know you just had lots of lunch and you're tired. And jet lag. I get it. Yes. All right. So, hello, everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Tim Lowenhaupt, and I'm the current executive director of the Asian Classics Institute, soon to become the Five Houses. And who is this?
This is Paulina Garcia Franco, and yes, I'm so happy to be here and to share beautiful new ideas for the 5 houses.
So Paulina is visiting from Mexico, and she's part of the ACI board in Mexico. She didn't introduce herself completely. And she's been working with some of the marketing for this event itself. And what we're going to do, so this is the kickoff for the next five days of what we're going to be doing to build, hi Kat, to build the new Five Houses organization. Can we shut that door, please? There's a lot of noise. All right, well, and we have someone who's going to help us as well. This is Shanti. Yeah, thank you. So, what we're going to be doing over the next 5 days is many of you have been.
Who wants to babysit?
Who wants to babysit?
Shanti? Yay!
Yeah, so we're going to have you run around in the back for a little bit. He's coming up on stage later. He's just excited.
Thank you, Ale.
And what we've been doing over the last about year is we've been selling you on this idea of 5 houses. We've been selling you on the idea. Whoa, buddy. Oh, I know tu quieres decir. Luego, todo bien. So, we've been selling you on this idea of the 5 houses. We've been selling you on what's coming. What's that transformation going to be? Now we're actually doing the transformation. Like, basically, what we were doing before is what we call in tech vaporware. We're selling you like smoke and mirrors, right? We were giving you the ideas of what's coming. And it's been actually an evolution that, when I look back on it, started in 2017. And I had no awareness that it was actually happening. And it started with our very first ACI teacher training, which was 2017 at Diamond Mountain, ACI 1 teacher training. And Geshe Michael was involved in those teacher trainings for 6 months. And then he said, okay, you guys got to go away. Like, you got this figured out. And honestly, I was a little disappointed, because he was doing teacher trainings for DCI, he was doing all these other new content creations, and then he was like, nope, you guys got this. And I was like, oh, damn, okay, fine, I guess we got this. And then COVID happened, and that shifted everything. But I went back through that content recently, and I realized something. He gave us the roadmap back in 2017 about what he was planning on doing. And I personally just didn't have the ears to hear it. Okay. And in that, he outlined the mission of ACI, which allowed us to start this transformation into the 5 houses. And over the last year, what we've really been doing, I was kind of joking about the smoke and mirrors kind of thing. because what we've been doing is investigating what is it about ACI that's working, and where is ACI pushing against the walls, meaning like there's like this energy for expansion, but we didn't know where to go with it, right? It was kind of this, it's almost like being, I would imagine, like what is like being a caterpillar in the cocoon, in the chrysalis. It's like, I'm in here and this is my world. And this is what I think everything is. And I think the world is just this. And then all of a sudden you start growing bigger and bigger, and sorry, interpreters. You start pushing against the walls, and it hurts a little bit. And it's a little uncomfortable. And you're like, and then your wings start growing, right? And you're like, what the hell's going on here, right? And that's what ACI has been doing. Like, we've been satisfying our mission. We're reaching thousands of people now at these individual events. I did a number check. We're somewhere on the order of 30,000 students in the world now. To 8 billion, 30,000 is like nothing. But when we started and we had 120, okay, that's huge, right? And the more you add, the more people you add in, the more tight that chrysalis starts getting. And so Geshe gave us that map in 2017, and I didn't realize it. So I want to give you a sense of where we're going and why we're going there, to set the stage for these workshops. Because by the end, you're going to start creating content for the houses. You get to look for the content, and you're going to start telling us, well, what should be in those houses? So in 2026, we can start offering courses. There's some weird sibilant thing happening in this microphone. So I don't know how to change that, and it's not my voice. So see if you can mess around with it. So first slide, Brian. Here's Lord Buddha teaching the first 5 disciples. He comes out of his enlightenment, says, all right, I'm not going to teach anyone. And then his students ask him, and eventually he's like, all right, fine, I guess I'll teach. Right? And so he starts teaching. He's teach these five wild horses, I'm assuming, right? Trying to teach them something that's going to help them in the way that can help them evolve. And then, the Buddha taught many, many teachings in the Kangyur, something like, some thousands. Right? And then fast forward to the next slide, Brian. We have someone, who's this? This is Arya Nagarjuna, who came some 700-800 years after the Buddha. Right? And Nagarjuna was like, whoa, we need to clarify some of these teachings. The Buddhist teachings were correct, no problem. But over the years, people did their thing. They started like really liking Abhidharma. They started focusing on that. And then they were like, Arya Nagarjuna was like, ooh, they're kind of missing some things. There's something maybe off. And so as an innovator of the wisdom arm of the teachings, although he was very much a bodhisattva as well, of course, we have Arya Nagarjuna. Right? So he evolved. It's not that he created teachings. He didn't create the ideas, but he retooled them, changed them a little bit, updated them, innovated. Right? Next slide, please, Brian. Who's this? This is hot Asanga. Modern day of Arya Asanga. Okay. If you know the story that he came across a dog on the side of the road after meditating for 12 years. Right? And then through the depth of his compassion. He transformed because his karma shifted. And Arya Sangha is also an innovator as well, mainly the innovator of the mind-only school. Also focused on the compassion side of the teachings. So fast forward, I can't remember the year, I'm sorry, my brain stopped. Next slide, please. It's okay, the next one. Who was the character in our lineage who brought those two lineages together? Atisha. So he innovated something. And what do we call that? I heard it. Say it louder, please. Lamrim. I think I heard it. And if I didn't hear it, I just made it up. Right? So he innovated he brought those two lineages together and then created the Lamrim presentation. Again, an evolution. Teaching still the same. Emptiness is still the same. Tracy, in Tibetan, definition of bodhicitta. Anybody else? What? I said Tibetan. Sem ke pane shendan chir yandak sobe jan chupta. Okay. Right? That doesn't change. Right? Emptiness doesn't change. The fact that things are coming from how you treated others in the past doesn't change. But the Lamrim presentation was a merging of certain ideas into a single stream. Next picture, Brian. Who's this? This is Pabonka Rinpoche. We kind of jumped way ahead. There's lots of other characters and people we could talk about, but we only have a half hour. Pabonka Rinpoche also taught the Lamrim, and we learned it for 14 years, called the Gift of Liberation, thrust into the palm of your hand. Again, another evolution. Why? Does anyone know why? What's that? What's that? Yes, he thought it was important that everybody had access to Lamrim, not just those in the monastics. And he was criticized. He would have been canceled if it was 2025. Don't do that stuff. Right? And he was highly criticized for it. But he said, no, this is important. Right? So in a way, he is one of the, there's other people, of course, but he was someone who brought the lineage out of the monastic system and said, look, everybody should be able to learn this. Everybody. Guess where we're going. Okay, next picture, Brian. It's my favorite picture. Yay. Okay. Now we've moved forward. Okay. All right, and here's Geshe Michael. That if you look at what he's done as an innovator of the teachings and the presentations that he's made over the years, the first thing he did is he took the Geshe course, which was a monastic course, and made it into 18 courses for everybody to learn. He taught everybody. It didn't matter who you were, what lot in life you had, what gender you are, what sexuality you have. Right? He teaches everybody. He's criticized for it. I don't know, but 30,000 people learning ACI ain't so bad, right? Then he brought the Diamond Way courses out, 18 courses, first time in that kind of way. It's a very unique presentation. No, there's nothing else like this in the world. Someone reminded me of that today. There's nothing else like this in the world. And then he was like, I think we need to innovate some more. Let's do DCI. What are there, 15 levels now? 18, 16, something, 15 levels of, there's many levels of DCI. Lots of levels, high numbers. Ideas. All the ideas are accurate in different clothing. You know, I like this picture because Geshe said many, many years ago, he said, don't send me pictures of cats. Yeah, well, guess what? Likes my cat. Okay, you see, and so there's an evolution. There's always an evolution of the presentation. It's going somewhere, right? It started with the Buddha and 5 students. And over time, it's worn different clothing for different people. The ideas are the same. The foundations are the same. But everyone needs something a little bit different. And times change too. Like 2,500 years ago, I mean, even when Pabonka taught, I don't know how the heck he did that. 700, 800 people in a room with no microphone. After 5 minutes of just saying this, which I don't even know if you can hear me. A little bit, right? But how about like 2 hours or 5 hours, 24 days, right? I'm like, thank God for Bluetooth, right? You know, but times change and we have to change, not because we have to, but because people do change. We're changing things, right? The basis of the world we live in is a changing thing. So I just wanted to prime you with that idea, is that we are evolving and you're part of that evolution. And what is that going to look like?
Yeah, and I was talking with Tim yesterday about how sometimes, you know, because many of us, we growth with ACI, with in this format, in the way that ACI is being communicating these beautiful teachings, as how Geshe taught us for so many years. Many of us, we've been here for, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 years. And ACI feels so familiar, so precious. And now that Geshe is asking us to transform ACI into the 5 houses, I was telling Tim, I was feeling a little bit like uncomfortable. And it took me a while to realize that, you know, because it's just ACI. I grow with ACI. Why Geshe is asking us to do this? And I remember I was talking with my dad and I was telling him, you know, Geshe is asking us to transform ACI in 5 houses. So it's going to be more work, 5 new branches. And I feel a little bit overwhelmed. And he said to me, oh, Geshe is asking you guys to transform ACI to something new, something more relevant. And I said, yes. And he said, that's wonderful. And I remember like asking him, why you say that? And he said, because that's gonna help you guys to transform yourself individually and collectively as a team, and to be there since the beginning of something new. Imagine, like, we are the people in this special moment that we have to get together to say what we are going to teach, how we're going to present it, right? Because the teachings remain the same. It should remain the same for future generations. They're perfect, they're accurate, and we need to pass that lineage. But how we're going to present it in a more modern language, and then I was like, okay, I started to feel it more comfortable with the idea. At the beginning, I didn't even like the name, the title, like 5 houses. I was like, why? No. But it's because we feel comfortable with the things we know. Like, I know this. But now, Geshe Michael is pushing us, which is, of course, what teachers do, push you to growth. push you to get out of your comfort zone. So that's what he's doing with us. And he's saying, go out and figure it out, because there's thousands of people that need to learn these teachings, and we need to present it in a different way. And I realized that this is part of our spiritual path. We are going to grow spiritually also. And it's not coincidence that Geshe Michael is asking us to do this transformation right now, that at the same time he is teaching us or preparing us for Diamond Way. You see how the transformation is going? It's all over the place. So in that sense, I think we should take this as an amazing opportunity to stay together, to support each other together, and to realize this is part of something beautiful and bigger and very transformative for all of us. And yeah, it's also because he knows we are ready. We already create a solid foundation through all these years of ACI to actually now transform the way we are communicating all these ideas. And if we are ready, then we can do this. And also it's because, think about it, the motivation behind all this work is bodhicitta. It's because we need to reach more people. I remember Geshe-la saying, I don't know which year exactly, we were in Mexico City, and he said, every second we are not reaching more people, we are hurting them. Every minute we are not giving these beautiful ideas to other people, we are wasting their lives. So yeah, I think this is a beautiful part of the plan, Geshe Michael's plan, and we are so fortunate to be in this moment. Yeah, and it's gonna be beautiful. And maybe I just say the part of the innovation part. I remember I was talking with my marketing expert, and I was telling him, because we were almost getting ready to launch this web page about ALL, Club de Oro, and how to fundraise money for ALL. And I remember I was like, I want this to be perfect before launching this website. And he told me, Pau, don't worry, we're launching how it is. And I was like, no, it should be perfect. And he said, Pau, grab your phone. And I remember I grabbed my phone. And he said, open your app store. So I did it. And he said, now open Instagram. Okay, Instagram. And he said, which version of Instagram it is? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I remember it was like 300 and something, So he said, you see, so we have to keep creating new versions like Instagram and all these applications to reach more people. So don't worry, we are in this transformative path, and yeah, I think we're ready.
I just had a realization. Is there anyone who's new in the room right now? Like brand new, never, like you just walked in and you're like, what are these people talking about? This is an ongoing conversation. So I apologize if you're brand new to us right now. You're like, why do people care about this? I'm just here for something. Right? Don't worry. And one thing that we want to highlight is the original foundation courses are not going away. They're not disappearing. We're still going to be offering them, and they are the foundation of everything that we do. So if you're worried about that, you can not be worried. Okay. but we're going to be creating new doors, new avenues, new ways and pathways for people to access the ideas as stepping stones. Somewhat, we had a meeting before this meeting, and we're focused on how do we get from point A to point Z? Like, how do we get from now to the highest goals? And the 18 courses are a way, but there's many paths. There's many ways to get there. And there's many different types of people who have different propensities and capacities and ways of living, when we're trying to find different stepping stones to engage them. So what are you going to do today? Like, what's the point of today's workshop? Is when I started this idea of like being in the chrysalis, being in the cocoon, like what's driving the evolution? What's pushing us forward? Like, yes, we still have the essence. We still have the caterpillar, right? We still have the 18 courses, right? We still have the ideas from 2,500 years ago. They're still there, right? The DNA is still there. The DNA of the 5 houses is still the DNA, right? That's not changing. But maybe some of the genes are expressing differently. So next slide, please. Evolution. We are changing. Okay. So there's five evolutionary drivers that we're going to focus on. And so what's going to happen today is you're going to get into groups and you're going to choose one of these 5. And then you're going to explore them. Right? Because we want to know about what you think about that driver. What do you think about that evolution? So the first one is called We Are Changing. Okay. I found this, I thought this picture is cute. Okay. Right. And in change requires, how do we manage that change? Like, how do we manage people's concerns? How do we communicate to them? How do we show them the new way? How do we make them still comfortable with the old ways? How can everyone still see themselves? Like, as Powell said, she started off in ACI. She was like, oh, where's that going? That was my home. You just destroyed my home. It's like, no, we're just upgrading. We're renovating. Right? But if people don't see the renovations, they might think their home's being destroyed. So change, how do we manage change? That's the first one. Second slide, please. Okay, I couldn't remember what he's doing. This one is about the relevancy of the teachings. Like, who are the people that we're reaching in their normal day-to-day lives? Where Pabonka taught normal people Lamrim, how do we reach normal people? Maybe they're not so normal, but how do we reach them? Right, here's this guy in a cafe doing his work, or having a meeting. Right, how do we reach him? How do we reach families? How do we reach people across the globe? Like, with different countries, different situations, different economic situations, political situations, right? Different age groups. How do we reach them? Right. So this, if you're interested in talking about this driver, like what pushes evolution is this, like the people change, and Shanti had to go, but I wanted to bring up is that the idea behind this is the way I'm focusing on this is I'm thinking about preparing this organization for Shanti's students. Shanti is this big right now, right? He doesn't even know. He's like, what? It's coming from me? Like, he doesn't get it yet. Maybe he does, right? But I'm thinking about his students. Like, that's what, 3 generations away now? Like, how do we make the organization, how does this, capable of being ready for him and for his students? So we're always in that mode, right? Third one. Next slide. Next slide, please. All right. What's this one about? Accessibility. How do we get there? There's many ways when you look at a map to get to the goal, right? You can walk, you can take the subway, you can get on a drone nowadays, right? You can take a taxi. There's many, many ways to get from A to Z. And so right now that the ACI courses are one way to get there. But how do we make it accessible? What are different types of goals? Like what goals do people have? Like what motivates them? And we were talking earlier that maybe 18 courses is a big long goal. That's 7 years. Most people are like, I can't think more than 3 months. So maybe there's some goals that we can give people along the way so they know that they're accomplishing things. Of course, in the 18 courses, you're accomplishing so much. You just may not realize it. But how do we make it more accessible? How can we create different doors? Different ways. Meditation, retreat, Lamrim, classics, different ways. So if you're interested in that change, because they're all the same, really, they're just different views on it. All right, next one, Brian, slide 4. This one is about community. One of the things we hear from you so often is, I want more community. I want a greater sense of belonging. Like so many students are online right now, and they can't come in person. Like, I'm sorry that my country doesn't give visas out like they used to. It's like anti-American. So anyway, arrest me. But I'm sorry that some of you couldn't come that wanted to come, right? So how do we make community? Like, how do we create that? How do we evolve it? Like, Zoom is one evolution, but great. Like sitting behind Zoom all day long is like I'm going to poke my eyes out, right? I do, it hurts my eyes. But how do we create more of that? Next slide, Brian. There's community too. I just had 2 different communities. Okay, right? There's lots of different types of communities within our community, right? So you don't like it's one and many. There's one of us, but there's also many of us, right? We all, I would want us to all be friends, but sometimes we have a few friends, right? People that are similar to us. Like ACI 5 houses is for everybody, and we want it to. We want people to look at 5 houses and say, that's me. I belong there. There's something there for me. It's so much nicer to try to transform in community than it is to be by yourself in your house. I get crazy when I'm by myself. Like my brain does. I get weird ideas when I'm not hanging out with others. So that's the 4th one, community. Next slide. And then the 5th one is this, I call it a division between modern and ancient, classical and modern. Like we have classical presentations, and then we have modern presentations. It's sort of a false division. You really think about it. I kind of made it into an evolution at the beginning, right, from the Buddha 2,500 years and through all the teachers. But there are different presentation styles for different types of students. Some people want right? Sometimes they want that. Sometimes they want, let's just go down the street and go to the soup kitchen and help people at St. Vincent de Paul, the Catholic nonprofit that helps people here in Phoenix. Amazing group, right? Which one's better? Don't even ask those questions. Like, it's not the right question, right? But some people are attracted to service. Some people are attracted to classics. Some people are attracted to modern language. Some people, when they hear Tibetan, they just want to poke their eyes out. Other people go, give me more, right? So how can we shape that and be both? So that's the 5th group. So here are the 5 groups. Ready? Group number 1 is changing. Just remember unicorns, okay? Pink unicorns, okay? That's why I put images up. Second one is what? It's relevancy. How do we make it relevant to modern people? Third one, there's many paths to the same goal. Tartuk Chekmachik. Tartuk Tekmachik. All goals lead to the same place. Excuse me, all paths lead to the same place, right? The map. How do we make it accessible for different types of people? Number 4, community, right? Sense of belonging. And number 5, modern versus classical. So where's Alejandra? So what we're going to do is she's going to explain what we're going to do for the next half hour or so, 45 minutes. And you're going to start exploring this, okay? And then tomorrow we're going to take these ideas and we're going to start defining the people in the individual houses. Who are those people? So then later in the week, we're going to then start developing content, actual curriculum and courses, so we can launch this thing and get it off the ground, because I'm tired of talking about it. I just want to do it. All right. So this is what we're going to do. And Alejandra was the first ACI employee after me. She's been with us 7 years. So she's going to lead you in the next part of this workshop. Thank you, Paulina, for joining. I'm so happy that you're all here. Yeah. We have an amazing week or 6 days, 5 days planned with you, and looking forward to all of it.
Thank you, team. Thank you, Pau. All right. So raise your hand who remember the first driver, the first item. Okay. Those who remember the first item, please go to that corner. Yes. Those who remember the second item, who remember which one was? Relevant. Okay. For those who remember that item, please come to this corner. For those who are online, stay tuned. I have an activity also for you. Okay, the third driver, the third item, who remembers? Okay, go all the way to the back to the room. The fourth one, community. For those who remember the community item, go to the other corner on the room. And the last item, who remember which one is? Mother and ancient. So for those who remember that, go to the other corner of the room. And for those who don't remember any item, you can sit or just pick one group. All right. So what we will do is that we have a special activity for you. Now is the time for all of us to take action. We have the opportunity to be the drivers of these new vehicles and then come up with solutions. For example, one of the first one, I need to look my notes. I don't remember. Sorry. Can you put a QR code on the back? Yes. All right. Okay, the first one is we are changing. So we need you guys, and for those online who wants to be changing, please scan the QR code and follow the steps. So here in the group, find a solution to provide more clarity and support the students as they move through change. Through change, clarity. Find a solution to help the students to go through the change. Okay? And for those online, do that. And then the second one, relevancy. Who was relevancy? Okay. So you guys need to find a solution that things that are now too academic, too much homeworks, too many too much homeworks, too many exams, too many meditations. So you guys need to find a solutions to don't feel that heavy and doing that work. That sounds good? All right. For those online, you can do the same thing. Community. Where's the community? Right over there in the back. Okay. Now the students here are online. Sometimes we feel that we need more community. So please find a solution that how you drivers can build community to make them feel part of what we are doing, what you are doing, even if we are online, how we can build that community, the transformative community. Okay, accessibility, the map. Where are you guys? Okay, the goal is the goal of the teachings currently feel too heavy. And then the quality of the courses feels too overwhelming, right? I remember one of the teachers earlier today that we are lucky that we don't need to remember the courses by memory. So that was too heavy too. Anyway, so you guys needs to find a solution for these drivers, how you can make feel less heavy of the path that we are going. That sounds good? Thumbs up? Okay. Then modern business versus classic. Yay. Okay. So you guys needs to, some of the students, they feel like it's too classical, the presentation, but also there is too scary, the new unicorn type. So your role is to find a way, a solution that those two paths can be connected and provide a solution how the content can be presented in both ways. Okay, so now here that you are in person, please also scan the QR code, and then we will take all your responses and your ideas, because guess what? You are the drivers of this new change. So we will have 20 more minutes. And also, I see that they are very proactive over here. They're already working on that. We will have 25 minutes. Please come up with solutions. And for those who are here that you don't know what group you are, like maybe we are in between all of them and we can find an intersection for you. Okay, thank you.
The question is, what should we do? Should we create a great speech that you will survive, or we should create a new training? You guys should do like this, this, and this, and this will be easy. What should be at the end?
The end is that developing all.
Yeah. What should we do?
Either of you, each of you can submit your idea, or All of you as a
No, you don't understand the question. My English is not so good. Unfortunately.
My English is I'm from Mexico, so English.
So at the end, we should say, guys, we can help with this,
Yes.
this through
This.
what?
Through your.
We should say, guys, you should do like this, and this will help. Yeah.
Yes.
Or we should say, guys, listen to that speech, and it will be easier for you to change.
How you would like to be
Okay.
presented? Like if. Hello. Okay, we have 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left. All right. Time is over. I know, it felt so quick, right? This time is over, please. Let's end the discussion. We can keep doing it in a lunch tomorrow or over a Zoom call for those who are online? All right, for those who were online, I just want to describe that everybody here in the room was like so immersed, taking the control of being the drivers, revolutionary drivers. So it felt really well. Okay, so who would like to come and present really quickly one of your solutions? Okay, you, come on. All right. Please first say which driver you are and what is your solution.
So thank you. I will present the group number 5. That was the last group about how to present ancient wisdom into a modern way. And we have just plenty of ideas. So the very basic ones are, for example, these ideas can use parents in like kind of parenting manual or parenting guidance. I think we could present that in that way. That can be also be kind of wow concept, but which would be presented in a healthy lifestyle, and it is suitable for all ages, from how to just live right. That would be very nice. So it can be surely some retreats, maybe in some fancy ways, some relaxing ways, where you can just get to know these ideas, share them with each other, share your experience, and meet and contemplate about the experience of other people. That would be really nice, and that would also create the community around these ideas. Also, it can be kind of problem solution podcasts. Yes, for example, on Spotify or something like that. Because as it has to be non-religious, that would be kind of two people just discussing how to solve this or that issue in their lives. We have a lot. So it can be songs. That would be a really nice idea. We can take an idea, for example, in Tibetan for chorus, and we explain the idea within the song. And especially if it's a popular song, kids will sing it a lot of times, and that will plant a really nice seeds into their minds. That would be really nice. We think so. Also, it can be short movies. It can be board games with some ideas. It can be fairy tales. It can be posts, images, even memes, and computer games. I think if they make a right decision, they go to a next level, and they will progress quickly, and there will also be planting of really powerful seeds within young minds. And it is interesting also, this is relevant to them. Maybe also some application. I know that mindfulness coaches and programs, they create some applications that you can, for example, daily go inside, learn something, and then practice your audio meditation, for example, or something similar. Yes, and learn about some ideas.
Great ideas.
Yeah.
Very great ideas. Thank you very much for sharing. And for all of those who were here, please don't forget to submit your ideas in the link. Please click submit, because we need all of your drivers to keep growing into this new evolution from primates to unicorns. Just kidding. All right. Thank you. Tim, do you want to add something else?
No, we still have 5 minutes. We can get it.
Oh, does anybody else would like to come and present? Just 5 more minutes.
Hi, so our topic was accessibility, and the question we had to solve is solution how to make this less heavy, less overwhelming for students. And first our idea we got is to make it practical, apply to life, and maybe have more exact tasks which people can learn it in daily life, not from like studying and reading. Then another thing was to not to separate these ideas and teachings from the religions or values of beliefs people already have, because that also may feel overwhelming. There is another thing is to constantly remind people that there is no right or wrong. There is no right way to practice this, to learn this, to understand this. There is no wrong way, and your own way is the best way which is possible. Then we also talked about planting seeds for understanding, so make other things in your life easier and accessible to other people. And the last thing is to know about different type of languages people have, different types of learning styles people have, and also try to incorporate that in the materials and teachings.
Wow. Thank you very much for sharing. Switch microphones. Thank you everyone for coming today, for be the drivers for this evolution and submit your work. We will keep working on it. And for those who are online, don't worry, we have surprises in the next few days for you. Thank you so much. Let's have a break and see you very soon.